Hi everyone. In this video I am going to explain about another important theory of this chapter, that is valence bond theory. So in last video we have seen about whisper theory. So like that, valence bond theory is also containing few important postulates. First we'll see what are those postulates and why it is proposed. First, it was proposed by the scientists Hitler and London in the year of 1927. Okay, so it was proposed by Hitler and London in the year of 1924 for explaining hydrogen molecule. So H2 is one of the molecule present in the nature. To explain such molecule, they have proposed this theory. In case of hydrogen molecule, the possibility of interchange of electrons between the two hydrogen atoms will be the nucleus of both. Okay, so here in hydrogen molecule, interchanging of electrons between the two hydrogens will takes place. Let us consider this hydrogen contains two hydrogen atoms. Let us consider one hydrogen atom as Ha and other hydrogen atom as Hb. Okay, now we are taking two hydrogen atoms. One hydrogen atom as Ha, other hydrogen atom as Hb. So these hydrogen atoms are containing nucleus. So nucleus of both the hydrogen atoms are taken as Na and Nb. Okay, nucleus of both hydrogen atoms are now considered as Na and Nb. Understand? Now psi is the wave function. Psi is the wave function, that is probability or possibility of finding the electron. So electron is revolving in this orbit. The possibility of finding this electron is known as its wave function, indicated by psi. So that psi value for A and B is equals to psi A minus psi B for first hydrogen atom. Okay, psi AB is the wave function for finding first electron of the A atom. It is equals to psi A minus psi B for first hydrogen atom. For second hydrogen atom, it is indicated by psi Ba. It is indicated by psi Ba, which is equals to psi B minus psi A. This is for second hydrogen atom. Overlapping of atomic orbitals leads to give covalent bond. Okay, overlapping of atomic orbitals. Here atomic orbitals overlapping leads to give bond. Which bond? Covalent bond. So these are the main important postulates of valence bond theory. So according to valence bond theory, hydrogen molecule electrons are interchanged between the two atoms, and those two hydrogen atoms are taken as Ha and Hb. Nucleus of these two atoms are considered as Na and Nb. The probability of finding electron in any place is indicated by wave function, and that is indicated by the symbol psi. So this psi A and psi B is for first atom, which is equals to psi A minus psi B, and for second atom psi B A is equals to psi B minus psi A. So the overlapping of these atomic orbitals leads to give covalent bond. Now we'll see how the atomic orbitals get overlapped. So for each and every atom, 4 orbitals will be present, that is s, p, d, f. These are the 4 atomic orbitals present in an atom. Sometimes ss orbitals of 2 atoms involves in overlapping. So s orbital is always having spherical shape. When 2 s orbital, this is 1 s orbital of one atom, this is 1 s orbital of other atom. When these two atomic orbitals, s atomic orbitals overlap, so that overlapping will be present like this, and we can find the electron presence here. So between the orbitals of two atoms involved in overlapping, so this is extent of overlapping. Here we can see the presence of electrons, and here axial overlapping or straightwise overlapping is taking place, then it leads to give sigma 1. And sometimes the overlapping takes place between s and p orbital. Overlapping will take place between s and p orbital. When one s orbital and one p orbitals involves in overlapping. Okay, so again it involves in straightwise overlapping. It leads to give sigma 1. So the probability of finding electron will be here. And next one is pp overlapping. So when two p orbitals, this is one p orbital of one atom, another p of another atom. So when these two orbitals involves in straightwise overlapping, again it leads to give sigma 1. Okay, but the same p orbitals may also participate in sidewise overlapping. Okay, so when those p orbitals involves in sidewise overlapping, it leads to give pi 1. Okay, so when sidewise overlapping will takes place, we can find the electrons here and here, and that leads to give pi 1. So remember, straightwise overlapping is always give sigma bond. Okay, next sideways overlapping can give pi bond. So straightways overlapping can give sigma bond, sideways overlapping can give pi bond. Understand? Now we'll see the differences between sigma and pi bonds. The first difference is that sigma bonds are formed by the overlap of orbitals along their axis. Okay, so when end-to-end overlapping or axial overlapping will take place, it can give sigma bond. Pi bond formed by the side-to-side overlapping of the orbitals. When sideways overlapping will take place between the orbitals, it can give pi bond. Okay, sigma bond is always stronger because it involves in straightwise overlapping or end-to-end overlapping, but pi bonds are weak in nature. Electron cloud is symmetrical in the case of sigma bond. Electron cloud is unsymmetrical in case of pi bond. So they can be free rotation of the atoms. Whatever the electrons are there, they can be free rotation of the both the atoms. Here rotation is not possible because it is restricted to a certain position and it determines the direction of bond. Sigma bond always determines the direction of bond. But in the case of pi bond, no primary affection, okay, of the direction of bond. There is no indication or direction of the bond by using this pi bonds. So these are the differences between sigma and pi bond. Sigma bond is always formed by end-to-end overlap. Sorry, it is formed by the straightwise overlapping or end-to-end overlapping, but pi bond is formed by the sidewise overlapping. Next topic is about hybridization. Okay, so hybridization is nothing but the mixing of atomic orbitals to give equal number of hybrid orbitals is known as hybridization. When n number of atomic orbitals are mixed together, okay, it leads to give hybrid orbitals, and the process of mixing is known as hybridization. The mixing of atomic orbitals to give number of hybrid orbitals is called hybridization. Okay, so there are many types of hybridizations. We'll see one by one. The first one is sp hybridization. Okay, sp hybridization. Here you can see upon s there is no number, that indicates 1. Upon b there is no number, it indicates 1. When one s orbital and one p orbitals are overlaps to give two sp hybrid orbitals. Here two atomic orbitals. Remember, number of atomic orbitals equals to number of hybrid orbitals. Okay, number of atomic orbitals equals to number of hybrid orbitals. Here two atomic orbitals are overlapping. Then the formed hybrid orbitals also 2 in number. When one s orbital, one p orbitals overlap to give two sp hybrid orbitals. Okay, so this type of hybridization can give a bond angle of 180 degrees and its shape is always linear. For example, here we can take BeCl2. Okay, so the central atom in BeCl2 is beryllium. So beryllium ground state configuration is 1s2 2s2 because its atomic number is 4. Atomic number of beryllium is 4. So its outermost configuration is 1s2 2s2. And 2p orbital don't have any electrons. We can represent it by using orbitals. So 1s is having 2 electrons, 2s is having 2 electrons, 2p no electron. Okay, now we'll see excited configuration. In excited state, one of the s electron, 2s electron gets excited to p orbital. From here to here one electron is jumping. Okay, now the configuration changes to 1s2 2s1 2p1, 1s2 2s1 2p1. Okay, now this 2s orbital and 2p orbital, only one p orbital. So this one p orbital, then this one s orbital involves in mixing, can give sp hybridization. With this sp hybridization, around beryllium we can see the presence of two hybrid orbitals. Which hybrid orbitals? These two sp hybrid orbitals. Now these two sp hybrid orbitals will accept the electrons from chloride. So if you see chlorine atomic number is 17. Its configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. That means in p orbital we can see the presence of 5 electrons. Okay, in outermost p orbital 5 electrons are present. This one electron is unpaired, right? Single electron. That single electron overlaps with this sp orbital and can make a bond. Like that, one more chlorine is present. Even that chlorine is containing one single electron in its p orbital that can overlap with this sp hybrid orbital and can make beryllium second chlorine bond. Okay, so this is first hybridization, which is known as sp hybridization. Now we'll see the second one. The second type of hybridization is sp2 hybridization. Okay, here upon I didn't write anything, that means 1s orbital, and here 2p orbital. When 1s and 2p orbitals are overlap to form 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. Okay, then that type of hybridization is known as sp2 hybridization. The shape of the molecule is trigonal planar and the bond angle is 120. Okay, shape of molecule is trigonal planar, bond angle is 120 degrees. And your example is BCl3. Okay, boron trichloride. The central atom here is boron. Boron configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. That is indicated by using orbitals. 1s2, 2s orbital contains 2 electrons, 2p orbital contains 1 electron. But in excited state, one of the electron from here jumps to 2p. Okay, then its configuration changes to 1s2, 2s1, 2p2. Okay, in 2p, 2 electrons. Now this 2s orbital and 2p orbital, okay, they overlap. 1, 2, 3 orbitals are overlapping. Then the hybrid orbitals obtained here also 3. Now the 3 hybrid orbitals of boron overlaps with the electrons given by 3 chlorides and will make boron chlorine bond. Okay, the bond angle between any two atoms here is said to be 120 degrees. So this is about sp2 hybridization. Next, sp3 hybridization. When 1s orbital and 3p orbitals overlap, it can give 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. Geometry is tetrahedral and its bond angle is 109 degrees. But NH3 and H2O can also participate in same hybridization. Its bond angle changes to 107 and 104. It should contain 109, but they are possessing 107 and 104. This is due to the presence of lone pair of electrons. Okay, when lone pair of electrons are present, some repulsions are arised between the lone pair and bond pair. Thereby their bond angles gets changes. Okay, so example here is methane. The central atom is here carbon. Carbon ground state configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2 indicated by using orbitals. Okay, but in excited state, one of the 2s electron changes are excited to 2p orbital. One of the 2s electron excited to 2p orbital. Then the hybridization will take place between 1s orbital and 3p orbitals. 1s orbital and 3p orbitals. Then that hybridization is called sp3 hybridization. With this sp3 hybridization, around carbon atom 4 hybrid orbitals are present. Now such 4 hybrid orbitals overlaps with the 4 hydrogen atoms can form this type of structure. It is called tetrahedral. Okay, and the bond angle between any two atoms is said to be 109 degrees. Okay, this is about sp3 hybridization. Now we'll see the one more type. Now the other type of hybridization is sp3d hybridization. When 1s orbital and 3p orbitals, 1d orbital overlap to give 5 sp3d hybrid orbitals. Okay, only 1s orbital, 3p orbitals and 1d orbitals are overlaps to give 5 sp3d hybrid orbitals. Okay, then that is called sp3d hybridization. So shape of the molecule is said to be trigonal bipyramidal. Bond angle here is 2 types of bond angles are maintained. That is exceptional case. One is 120 degrees, other one is 90 degrees. So this 120 degrees is the axial bond angle, 90 degrees is the equatorial bond angle. Okay, so example here I have taken PCl5. The central atom here is nothing but phosphorus with the atomic number 15. Okay, its configuration is given here. So I am taking only outermost configuration, that is 3s2, 3p3 and 3d0. So 3s orbital contains 2 electrons, 3p orbital contains 3 electrons. There is no electron in 3d. Okay, but in excited state, one of the electron from s orbital gets excited to d orbital. Then its configuration changes like this. Okay, then this 1s orbital, 3p orbitals and 1d orbitals overlap can give sp3d hybridization. can give sp3d hybridization. Now around this phosphorus 5 hybrid orbitals will be present. All the 5 hybrid orbitals overlaps with the electrons given by 5 chlorides, can give the structure of PCl5. This is called trigonal bipyramidal structure. The bond angle between these two axial bonds is 120. For equatorial it is 90. It gets changes. Next, last type of hybridization is sp3d2. When one s orbital, 3 p orbitals and 2 d orbitals overlap, it can give 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbitals. And shape of the molecule by this hybridization is octahedral. Bond angle is said to be 90 degrees. Example, here I have taken SF6. The central atom here is sulfur. In its ground state, its configuration is 3s2 3p4. Okay. So 3s contains 2 electrons, 3p contains 4 electrons and 3d do not have any electron. Excited state configuration is one of the electron from s orbital gets excited to d orbital. Okay. So and one of the electron from this p orbital also get excited to d orbital. So here 2 electrons are present. From this 1 electron gets excited to p orbital. So then it can participate in sp3d2 hybridization. sp3d2 hybridization. So with this sp3d2 hybridization, 6 hybrid orbitals are formed. Those 6 hybrid orbitals present around the sulfur. Now 6 hybrid orbitals overlaps with the 6 atomic orbitals of fluorine, can form 6 bonds around it, and this geometry is called what? Octahedral, and the bond angle is said to be 60 degrees. Okay, this is about the hybridization and valence bond theory, differences between the sigma and pi bond. In next class we'll see about what is molecular orbital theory, how molecular orbital theory can explain about the properties of a molecule. Okay, how different types of molecules are formed according to molecular orbital theory, that we'll discuss in the next video. Thank you.